I would like to show you how to start with the assignment. First of all, on the assignment page, you see a handout, and sometimes there will be an additional file that you will need. So you always want to at least read over the handout, preferably download it and print it. So if we look at the handout, it gives us some information, the instructions, the grading rubric, and usually what it should look like. Now there is another file with a .txt extension. That is the text content that you will be working with in your first web page. If you were to open that file, this is what you would see, and you merely need to copy that and paste it into your HTML document. The first thing you want to do is to create a folder on your hard drive for this course. So here in the documents, you see I have a folder CAWT170. So far I have placed one folder inside that folder, CH04. So all of my work for Chapter 4 will be placed in this folder. You need to have a nice system of file organization to easily work with all of the files needed in a website. The next thing we need to do is to create an HTML document in that folder. And I am using Visual Studio Code as my code editor. So I will open up that folder, and here it is. And notice I can add a new file. I can also add a new folder. So I will click New File. I will call it Chapter 4.html. And here it is. You can see the file name in the navigation section. It will also appear on the tab. One nice part about using a code editor is that you can open multiple files at once and work between them. You can't do that in a plain text editor. The next thing you want to do is to insert your basic HTML structural tags. They are shown on page 56 of the textbook edition as of the recording of this video. So I have inserted my HTML structural tags. First I have the doc type, and that represents the HTML5 doc type. Next comes the opening and closing HTML tag. Notice everything else is inside the HTML element. I have a lang attribute set to English. That is not shown in the book, but it is needed for accessibility. There are two sections in the web page, the head section and the body section. The head section contains data that the browser uses. The body section is where all of the content and markup for the web page goes. Do not put any HTML markup on top of the body or underneath the body. It all belongs inside the body. You want to create a meaningful title for every page, and we can just say Assignment Chapter 4 here. Next, we will copy the content into our document. And here it is. I can make it look a little nicer here so I can see things better. And you want to always try to use white space so that it does make it easy to see everything you have. And you can also tab or indent content. It just makes it a lot easier to see the grouping and organization here. I'm going to save this, and I will say File, Save. And now I will look at it in the browser. If you go back to your folder, you will see the file chapter4.html, and you will see a browser icon associated with it. If I click this file, it will open it in that browser. So here is my HTML document. it doesn't look very pretty. I mean, didn't we put a lot of white space into our document? Well, the browser ignores white space and carriage returns. You need to use HTML markup. I would also like to point out that the title appears in the tab in the browser. It is not actually part of the web page itself, which is why it does not belong in the body section. So let's start marking up this document. The first heading on every web page should be a heading level H1. So here I am, and these editors will be very nice and help you to put the tags in for you. Sometimes you need to rework them a little bit. So I will make this an H1 level element, and I will make this a paragraph. You always want to have all of your content enclosed in some type of HTML markup. You just don't want to have text sitting on the page by itself. I also like doing one or two things and then testing it because it gives you a better idea of what's happening. So let me save this, and now let's open it. Now I already opened it in the browser, so I don't need to open it again. I will just refresh the page. And there we go. This is our heading level 1 element. What it does, it makes the text larger and it also makes it bold. Notice that it inserts white space or carriage returns on the top and bottom. The paragraph does the same thing. It encloses all the content and there will be a carriage return on the top and bottom. So now we're going to create 2 more heading level 2 elements. It is okay to have more than one of a heading level 2 or a heading level 3. You only want one heading level 1. And we'll put a paragraph here, and we'll put our ending paragraph. Notice when you make a mistake, it turns red. So if you see red, take a look at where the red starts and you might be able to find your error. So let's save this. Let's refresh our page. And here we are. There's a few more things you need to do to this document, and you can follow along those steps in the book. Ultimately, you want to validate your page. So I have opened a new tab, and I never remember the address. I just search for it. So I will search for W3C validator. There we go. And here it is. And I can validate by file upload. All I need to do is browse and find my file. So I go to Documents. There's my CAWT 170, my folder, and my file. And I'll say check. Okay, no errors or warnings. And this is what you want to do, because if you have a mistake, the validator will show you. So this is how you begin creating an HTML document, and little by little you will be adding more content and more markup and using CSS and creating very nice page layouts. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed the assignment.